Hello, everyone. This is Nikki Clayco. I'm just going to give you a minute to get on here, to get going with us. I am excited to have Heather Human here. She is such an awesome business coach. Her gifting is in social media strategies, right? But while we're waiting for a few people to pop on, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit. Find out how your day's going. We're going to count down. I'll do the opening for the show, and we'll follow the normal strategy that we have where we look at the problem, the word, the gift, the choice. And yeah, I don't know. Can you, Heather, click on comments so that if any come in, you'll be able to see that there over to the right?
Absolutely.
All right, guys. And wherever you're from, when you get on, you can just go ahead and you can say your name and where you're at. But I noticed one come on and pop off again. So hold on. I'm going to actually go on my cell phone and share it. Hold on here. Hey there, guys. It's nice to seeing you. This is going to be a great talk show. We're going to be hearing from Heather. She's going to give us some great tips. I know ones that we all want. All right. I think we're going to go ahead and get started. You can say where you're from when you come in, but I'm going to count back so that the producer can go ahead and cut it easily and add in commercials. Hey, Brent. Nice having you, friend, a legacy leader. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. This is Nikki Clayco. I am so happy you are here with us on another episode of Living Within the Sweet Spot. I am an author, a faith-based life and business coach, and speaker. I love to help people tap into the Trinity and all that offers so they are empowered by the work they do, the health they're in, and the relationships they have. You know, we looked at God. Many of us sometimes think, is this possible? But yes, we really can have these God partnered places in our life, business, health, families, where we get way more than we could ever dream, because with God, all things are possible. So how do we do our businesses partnered with God? Heather is a soul sister of mine, right? So Heather, I want you to tell everyone a little bit about yourself and why we get along. We both do our business the same way. Share a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Nikki. I'm excited to be here just talking with you and your community. And so I like to say it really simply. I'm a digital missionary. So I've been in the online digital marketing space for 20 years. I absolutely adore and geek out on social media strategy. But the main thing I love about it is an amazing opportunity to build relationships with real people just like you, and really be able to cultivate that in such a way that you can use social media and you can use this technology to partner and build connections with relationships. And I love the power of video. And I have just seen it not only transform my own businesses as well as my clients. And so I really am just a huge advocate for saying, like, show up how God has wired you with your God-given gifts and really amplify that in your business and doing business God's way, and not having to feel that you have to sacrifice your faith or your family or kind of get into this hustle culture that I completely disagree with. So
Yeah.
the social media strategy piece is kind of just what I love. And I'm a teacher by nature and by trade originally. And so I love taking what can sometimes feel overwhelming or complicated, especially if you identify as someone who says, I'm not into technology or I'm too old. That's not true. And I think that I have an ability to take something that can feel complicated and really just break it down very simply, really easy. So you're like, these are the 5 things I need to do. Now I'm going to get to work and go do it.
Absolutely. I just want people to know that are going to be tapping in, listening in replay that, this is where my heart is. I do a lot of the business coaching with entrepreneurs who are faith-based, but when it comes to social media, I stall out a little bit. I've had it where I've been pulled away, told that I can't be on the platform for a while. I got into jail. And so I really love, and I know that the people that are around me would really love some techniques. We're going to get into those that they can do to get their hands wrapped around this and make it possible. I need to learn from you. And just as a little foresight, I want you guys to know we are doing an event together all next week, and it is going to be powerful. I'm literally teaching on all 12 of the business coaching tools that I do all throughout the week, every day next week. She's going to be coaching on all these things, but you're going to be giving us a highlight of these, some nuggets they can run with today, right?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So we're going to do this show, though, the same way as always: the problem, the word, the gift, the choice. So what is our problem? Let's just list some things. And you guys go ahead and get in the comments and say where you're from. Say if you're an entrepreneur. Brag about yourself. Let people know what you do and the work you're doing and stuff. So Heather, what is the problem that you see most entrepreneurs struggling with when it comes to social media?
So sometimes what people say is the problem and what really is the problem is a disconnect.
You're probably talking to me right now.
The problem is that people want more visibility. They want more leads. They want more people to know about what it is that they do. That's really the problem. But they will say, like, the problem is I don't know what to post. I don't know how often I should post. I don't know what's effectively working right now versus what worked 4 years ago. I don't know who I can trust to learn from because there's all these people with all of these different trendy techniques and tactics. And so that's really the problem, is that if you are watching or listening and you already have that business, you're saying, I want to be sustainable. I don't want to just survive. I want to thrive. And I want this to actually be able to, create legacy change, both for my family and for the future. And I want to be a more generous believer with the resources that I want, but I need more people. So what people really want, what the real problem is they need a bigger audience. They need more visibility. I love that Dawn says that I am reading her mind. And that's because I'm not making this up. It's because I have surveyed thousands and thousands of business owners. And these are their words. They say this over and over again.
Okay. So we kind of have a clear understanding of the problem. I mean, ultimately, we just want to be seen and heard more because we know our messages are going to impact the world. So now the word. I like to kind of think about, like, what does God say about this? And sometimes when people are new and they're doing like faith-based business coaching, it's kind of a new concept, right? We know it. There are faith-based business coaches out there, but people don't understand how powerful it can be when you're using God to kind of get some clarity on some things. So tell us how the word can maybe shed some light on this.
So I wrote a book. And my book is called The Golden Rules of Social Media Marketing. And in my book, I go through 15 golden rules that are kind of like the great things to focus on and to do. But I believe, to your point in your question, Nikki, is that Matthew 7:12 tells us what the ultimate golden rule is. It's in scripture. I didn't make it up. And I'm like, if God says this, I think this is a pretty good principle. But it's like, treat people the way you want to be treated. So I show up in business and I say, I think that this message of knowing God, knowing the amazing benefits, it's not this special thing. It's not a special club. It's not meant to be like, I'm cool, you're not. It's really about being real, living your life, that you don't have this compartmentalized life, that you talk about churchy things with these certain people, or you talk about faith, or you act a certain way on a certain day of the week. And I feel, and this may be countercultural, but I believe that as believers, when we show up in what that is we do as a business, and we lean into our God-given gifts and our strengths, and we just let that radiate in and through us, we are planting seeds for Christ. So you don't have to be posting Bible verses to really get what I'm saying. You may not be forward-facing in your marketing. You may not say you serve Christians. It doesn't matter. But if you are leading from a place of Christian leadership, if Jesus Christ is in your heart, I believe that the purpose of this business that we have can absolutely be a part of our process to amplify the gospel. And that means that if God's word says, go out, make disciples, be fishers of men, get out, then why on earth can we not do that in our business as well?
That's pretty awesome. I love that you give people permission to not like have to go up on some soapbox and start preaching the word or put out these beautiful images with Bible verses everywhere. I do a lot of both of those, but that doesn't mean that's who you are. You can still live out your faith, but it also is speaking such truth to what you said in the opening. Like, figure out who you are and make sure people are authentically seeing that. So, when you look at that verse and you put it into action, you talked about gifts and talents. You talked about how does this look on the social media platform way? Like, what are some tips or steps that you think can help us?
Yeah. So here's a very simple yet powerful tip that many people overlook. They want to go and sign up for the course that's going to help you maybe get a specific result on a certain platform, but it's very like gamified. It's very like, here's this technique to be able to do this. And so what I want you to know as business owners, as entrepreneurs, is that you, from a social media standpoint, need to first have your business goal set up and established. That's kind of Nikki's zone of genius. You need to know what on earth you're trying to do with your business. Then you come to social media and you say, I am now going to use this tool of Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, whichever is your focus. And you are going to say, I've got two things I have to take into consideration. One, someone else owns this social media platform. So I want to pay attention to what they say is important. I want to be doing more of what they say they want to see, because I'm ultimately trying to please and make them happy. But then I'm also trying to accomplish my own business goals. So let me give you a very simple but easy explanation of that. So let's say you make a video. You're so proud of yourself because they say video is a good thing to do. And you're like, okay, I'm going to do it. I create it. Well, what a lot of people do is they create it, they upload it to YouTube, and then they take that YouTube link and then they go and paste it on LinkedIn and paste it onto Facebook. And that is like going to the CEO of Coca-Cola and saying, would you like to have a Pepsi to drink? Like, you would not do that because that doesn't make sense, because
Thank you. Yes.
Competitors. So you've got to respect the platform. Every single social platform is different. The culture is different. Go ahead.
So I know you cannot tell us all, but like just that one thing, we know this and yet we do it anyway. I still post YouTube links every now and then, but on Facebook, but I'm sure there's a bazillion of these different things. I know we're not going to get to them all, but can you tell me there's 4 or there's 10 or there's do you know there's a bunch of rules? Because I can't think of them.
Oh my goodness, there's loads of them. I mean, even the words you use, when you say click below, they literally are like, oh, that's not good. They're trying to get people to leave our platform. So even the language, the exact words, some people call them banned words. You got to sometimes think a little bit more creatively and say what you're wanting to say without maybe using those words. But it's not like this magical thing. Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg does not email me this banned list. There is no official, this is a banned list. It's being in the trenches, doing this myself, having clients, having mentors and other people that are, farther along even in business than I am. And just saying like I said, when I say I geek out on this, it's like you learn it, you see what works, and you pass that information on. So it's all about it's about working smarter.
Yep.
It's not about manipulating who you are.
No.
It's really about saying, when we're talking about social media, and some people might not expect a social media person to tell you this, but you've got to be building your business on something that is solid, that is beyond just social media. So yes, you want to take people places. So if you're trying to grow your email list, awesome. If you're trying to create people to get on the phone, awesome. But in the midst of that, you have to also respect I'm on their platform. So that would mean if out of 10 posts, 9 posts, you include a link taking people away from the platform. They don't like that, and they're going to show your stuff to less people versus you saying, okay, you know what? 1 out of 5 of my posts, I'm going to include a link. So I'm going to make that one link really powerfully important, and I'm going to be intentional with how I do it. And that's how you try to balance the rules of the platform and you trying to accomplish what it is that you need.
Yep. Yep. No, it's really good. And I know that I don't do this. I need to do this. You're making me want to like restructure my life. And I cannot wait for our training next week because I'm going to do everything that you said and everyone's going to watch my social stuff go up. But it is good, right? To share a link back to somebody else's Facebook, like so that you're encouraging people to be on Facebook.
Yes, Facebook loves Facebook. And so I like to tell one of the biggest mistakes, Nikki, for your whole audience, one of the biggest mistakes that smaller brands and companies and businesses make, especially if they have under 1,000 followers on their Facebook page, is they think that they need to create every graphic, create every post, and do everything organically, like created themselves. When in fact, what you want to do when you're smaller, you absolutely want your voice and your message and your opinions and what leadership or insight you've got to incorporate that. But you can say to yourself, what are bigger Facebook pages? Now we're talking about Facebook specifically, but what are bigger Facebook accounts that align with my messaging that my audience can absolutely relate to as humans, and that I can share some of those posts onto my page? And it's kind of like this, the juices, so to say, from those bigger pages kind of trickle down to yours.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just sometimes going, it's not just about you, and you're like this one little fish in this big pond, and you are trying to do things smartly with strategy that connects you as a little fish to all of the other things that are in the pond. And then that gives you more strength, more power, but more importantly, it allows for you to have the ability to get more free, organic traction and engagement.
Yeah, that's what we want ultimately. Okay, so now we've talked about the problem, we talked about the word. So you just sort of touched on some of the benefits, right? You said, or free organic kind of leads, basically. So what can you share with us in terms of like really helping people understand how they need to invest in this, how they like the power of getting their social media on track? Like what can that do for them? So that I always think of when I coached nursing patients of mine, that you would say like, what's your driving force for getting your health back? What's your driving force for losing 20 pounds? So what is their driving force for getting their social media on track?
So again, at the start of this, the problem, right? People want eyeballs. They want an audience. They want more visibility, but not just with anybody, but with more of like their perfect, ideal people and customers. And I feel that social media has really transformed the opportunity that exists for business owners. You no longer have to be some huge organization that can afford $30,000 for a 15-second or 30-second TV spot in order to get marketing or media or lots of eyeballs. And yes, I'm the first person to tell you, having a social media account might be free, but it takes time and effort and consistency and good messaging to get yourself out there. But to your point, Miss Nikki, I think that like it's all about perspective too. So it's like this, and I don't even know current prices, but I'm just like, let's go back. And I'm thinking to my own business I had in 2011 to get an ad in a local newspaper that was approximately, a 4x6 postcard could easily be $400 to $600 to run for 3 days in the newspaper. And at the time, you had no idea who was going to see that, what what your ROI, what your return on your investment would be. But here we are in 2021, and people say to themselves, social media is free, and yet they are either not willing to invest in themselves to go, what is actually really working? Or what could I do? What could I do with $400 that would last far more than 3 days in a printed thing that's going to go and get in someone's trash can in 3 days?
In a little area.
Yeah. On page 17.
Environmental space. Yeah.
So it's like, I think that when we open up our mind to say that social media is a way for us to genuinely it's not about the money. It's not just about the lead. Like, it is really about you being able to solve people's problems. And I know there may be a lot of people with different businesses, but I don't care if you own a Chick-fil-A or if you sell bow ties or if you are a coach or a speaker or an author. You can use social media to build community, build relationship, have people ultimately come to be raving fans that when they have once become a customer of yours, they can stay connected with you and you can do your part. Because a lot of times I think business owners, they want the benefit of social media, but they honestly, for being honest, they don't want to do their part to really seem like they care.
Yeah, and I'll be real honest, like I used to love to do my part and there was a lot of fruit from it. And when all of a sudden it was like the breaks and I sort of got punished, it soured me. And so I haven't been, and I'm afraid to step back in. And so I am really looking forward to applying these things and really giving it my all, because how can I expect to get anything out of social media if I'm not going to apply? And that's the free will. The problem word, the gift, the choice. We have a choice of whether we're going to sort of turn our backs on it or try to figure it out and use it as best we can, right?
Absolutely. And I think you're not alone. I think there are so many people right now, myself included, that are getting frustrated. Some people are feeling censored. Some people that are feeling that there is huge, big tech overreach, which there is. There are people that are feeling like there is just not an opportunity that used to be there. And I'm the first person to tell you that things are different. And
Right.
I am also the first person to tell you that there are days where I say, you know what? This is really frustrating. But here's what I can tell you, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Instagram, or whether it is a brand new social app that you just downloaded 2 weeks ago, the strategies that I teach are more focused on you using them in order to show up, to build true relationship, to get people to want to engage with you, leveraging the power of video, and that can transfer to no matter which social platform. Now, again, I say that making sure it doesn't sound like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, because the platforms are different. And you just have to say, okay, I'm on TikTok now. So this is a little bit more playful. This is a little bit more this. But you still can show up and lean in with the exact strategies that I'm going to share with you guys and really be able to be relatable, keep putting your message out there, even if the platforms change, because the platforms will change.
Yep. Good advice. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen for our training all next week, because it really talks about what you're going to be doing and offering. And so, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and share screen. So here we go. All right. Can you see this?
Yes, I can.
Right. Here, elevate your business. This is what we want for everyone. We want you to kind of use social media and my 12 steps, because I know they work. We've been talking about yours, but I know these 12 steps work to really get your business up and going and to the next level. And so, yes, this is 10xing your business. We want to elevate you in business strategies and social strategies. And that's our kind of a repeat. That's what it's about, taking our entrepreneurs, yours and mine, to the next level in this intense training that Eastern time, at noon, 1 hour, all through next week. Central Time, of course, 11. And then we're going to be doing this. Who's going to be doing it? Both Heather and I. You'll see how this goes down. We have each 2.5 days. And yes, there will be replays for people who maybe won't be able to be there. In mine, I'll have Monday, Tuesday, and half a Wednesday, but I will be there every day learning and helping Heather. And during her days, she's going to be there for me. So on Monday, I'm going to be helping people figure out what their unique selling proposition is. I use something called a sweet spot tool. It's very unique, and it just really helps people find products that aren't just like, oh, I'm a coach and I have this great, I don't know, process. I want them to name it. I want them to brand it. I want them to spell it out on their sales page, all those sorts of things. And then also we're going to be looking at how we turn this unique process into courses, gifts, and services. You will literally walk away with this in hand by the end of this week. And then also buyer's journey. This is how we 10X. I remember my first year, I made $20-some thousand is all. It was just a few months into the year. And then the next year I doubled. The next year I doubled. And my salary just keeps growing and growing. And that is because I do the Spark Flame Blaze process. Now, Heather, then halfway through Wednesday, is taking over, and she's got this gift. I'm going to let you talk about it. You might do.
I'd love to. That's great. So I'm excited because just like I shared, that number one problem, people want visibility. So on Wednesday, the second half after Nikki, I'm going to just really dive in and share with you guys exactly on how you can not just get visible, but how you can stay visible, really focusing on my strong foundations in your online kind of like getting yourself out there. Now,
this is like when I said you have more than these, like you gave us 2 today. And I'm like, is there like 4? And you're like, no, there's a ton. That's what these are?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And then Thursday is when I'm going to really kind of break down for you guys. I like to keep things simple, but I have my social framework, which is what I base everything that I teach on, both for my clients, both for the work I do myself, and what I'm going to share with you guys on exactly how through this 6-part framework, everything that you need to be focusing on in your business. Doesn't matter what type of business you have. These are the 6 parts that you need to work. And it's all based on an acronym for the word social. So I think it's super easy to remember. And you're going to instantly be able to know what you can be going and doing for your specific business. And Friday, we're going to really break down for you how to use video in less than 3 minutes a week to double your sales. And many, many people tell me that they think that videos for other people, but I'm here to tell you it is not as complicated or as scary. And I'm going to share with you guys some really special ways, even if you want to leverage doing video, but you don't want it to maybe necessarily be like you always forward facing, talking to the camera, kind of like I am right now. And we're going to leverage how you through stories, through the customers, through your product offerings, how you can still leverage video and get more of that engagement and that visibility that you need and want for your business.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. And then I'll just go ahead and show you where you can sign up right below here. So this link I'm going to put in the chat. I'm going to bring it right here. Stop sharing. Hold on one sec. All right. I'm going to put it into the chat. And taking me a second. There we go. All right. And good. I think it's on there twice. All right. So you guys, I just want you to know that this is going to be super fun, but very intense. We know exactly. If you are an entrepreneur and you're like, I am not standing out in the crowd. I do not understand why so-and-so's products sell when I know I've got such a great thing. I am passionate about helping whatever it is you do turn into something that is real, tangible, unique to you, on your page with prices, knowing all this, and you get confidence in it, because that's what I am so passionate about. So, and then you helping us tap into these strategies that we need. I feel like you and I are going to be great together. I cannot wait for next week. Thank you guys that were on here listening with us. We know we're going to catch this in replay, and thank you, Heather, for being with us. Tell everyone how they can get to your website, a little bit about your handles, those sorts of things.
Yeah, so my social media, you can find me at sweetteasocialmarketing.com. We've got links for all of my socials there on my website. But my name, Heather Hyman, all together, no spaces, is where you can find me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Twitter, and would love for you to just come and connect and really just let us know how this encouraged you. But yes, I want to encourage every single one of you that right now that says to yourself, I have maybe invested in something else before and it didn't work, or to the person that is saying to themselves, I've not yet really ever done anything to get out of my own way. I want you to know that you're going to get not one, but two, like leaders and mentors that want to really serve you at a really high level. And I think that if you've enjoyed anything that you've heard today, I can promise you that you're going to be able to greatly benefit from it. And I would love to see you guys on the inside of our Elevate experience.
Yeah. Looking forward to seeing you guys go live, love, learn, and lead according to the call God has on your life.